Okay, Tom, what's quite interesting in today's world is the changing shifts in demographics.
Yeah.
And I think it's important as well for this more modern generation of wealth to see how they're motivated and what they're incentivized. And they're incentivized by value-based companies, value-based investments, where it should chime with what they feel is important, because they see a legacy as not only financial reward, but also leaving or having an impact on the world around them.
You know, the newer generation, younger generation, needs to come into the fold. And I think these brands are trying to think of new ways to engage those audiences. I think what's interesting with wine is probably a geographical split. So for our business, if I look at, say, our UK, European, North American business, it's quite male dominated and probably at the typical sort of age range you can imagine, like 40 plus, but probably a sweet spot around 50 to 55. If I go to our Asia business, it trends and skews a lot younger, sometimes second generational wealth that come back to places like China and Singapore and take over family businesses. Actually, in some regions, particularly China, we're actually seeing more female wine collectors than male. I think we've got to a point now where, consumers' expectations are set at a level that you have to meet that in terms of digitization, in terms of accessibility, in terms of data, in terms of insights. We're now at a level where it's kind of like, this is the minimum set level of bar where consumers are right now, what they expect from their financial products, from their investments, from their service providers. As we start to see Gen Z come up, again, I think we'll probably see another quite significant leap forward in terms of what their expectations are and how you can serve that audience who have just grown up in such a digitized arena. And I think that if I bring that back to wine, they don't have a choice. Wine has to go with them, go with the times. And I think the biggest thing in terms of technology with wine that we're going to see more of is, blockchain technology, the use of NFTs. If I'm based in Singapore and I've got 100 cases of wine in a UK warehouse thousands of miles away that I'm probably never going to go to or never see, how can you create how can I recreate that experience for someone without actually giving them the physical bottle? And I think that comes through digitization, it comes through things like blockchain, it comes through NFTs, because that can recreate the whole experience of the wine, but also give you that tangibility of something existing.
In this modern age, in modern day, the demands are high, the technology is there. Some of our clients don't want to call a private bank, don't want to pass the order on a phone or an email. They want to just pick up their phone. They're well researched enough. There's a lot of information and data out there in today's world that they feel empowered and they have the knowledge and they have the expertise.
So what you were describing, it was kind of like, wow, that resonates so much with me, because that's almost like what we're trying to do in our own field, in our own category. With wine, I think it's achievable. I think through technology, you can create these network effects. And I think in the wine market, that's the other theme that we are seeing at the moment, which is almost this drive to sort of community driven, right? It's sort of, with platforms like Cellar Tracker or Vivino, which is probably going to be more well known to a larger audience, about being community driven by sort of recommendations and where you can find the wines and what you should be drinking.